Welcome back to another coding ASMR video. Today, I'll be making a table with the solar system's planets using HTML. So let's begin. So right now I got a HTML5 file, and that's where I'll put the website's content. And here's some basic styles I'll do. I just put a black background and the text color of everything is white. And this is the live server with the sample content. So as you can see, there's hello world, and I have here a hello world tag and a header h1 tag. So now I'm going to make a little table with the solar system's planets. So I'll do that. So I'm going to now do table, and this is where I'll put the table. So inside the table, I want to make rows. So I do that. I'm going to make the rows. So TR is a row of the table. So, and yeah, I am typing. By the way, I make keyboard sounds as I type code, so hopefully this will get your tingles. And I do some whispers as I code. So, like I said, I'll be displaying information of the planets, the solar system, with all the 8 or 9 planets, including Pluto. So, yeah. So each row, I'm going to do a header. So the first row is the header. So in this row, I'll do a TH, and that is a header of the table. So this is where I'll put what kind of information this column would hold. So I want to put the planets. So order from the sun. The next one is I want to put the planet's name. The type of planet. And what else? I'm gonna do diameter, number of moons, and has rings, or tell if the planet has rings or not. So put diameter here. Oops. As well as the image. By the way, I'm going to put the image before the planet's name. So yeah, so this is the information I would like to store of the planets. Order from the sun, the image, the planet's name, the type of planet, where is rocky or gas giant, diameter, the moons, and whether the planet has rings or not. So if you have seen a video, I made a video a long time ago about planet objects, and this is like the information of a planet. And so this is the first row. So I'm going to try to see it. And now I see a sentence that That's because I don't see the borders. This is actually a table, so I'm gonna actually go to my styles and style the table. I put border collapse, so yeah. I'm going to make the font size really big so you could see it. And I need a border. I do need a border. So there's actually borders, but you can't see them. So I'm going to do border. And I'm going to do 2 pixels solid and the color so yellow. And yeah, I see borders around them. And the styles isn't that perfect. I just want to get this whole table done for now. So this is just the first row of the table, which is just the heading. And I want to insert actual data of the 9 planets, including Pluto. So the rows below will have the data of each of the planets. So Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Because I don't want to leave out Pluto. So let's do Mercury. So another table row. Order from the sun is 1, first planet. And in fact, I'll just put TD because that's the data. TH is a header cell and TD is a table data cell. And I'm going to leave this blank here because I'm going to insert an image here. And I'll leave that for last. And I put Mercury. So I actually do test it out, and I see that there is some rows. And note that the order has to be right, because if I would do Mercury here, 1 here, the data will be switched around. So I have to make it in order. I have to order out my TD tags in HTML. So it corresponds, align them. So if the planet's name is the 3rd one from the 1st here, I have to put it on the 3rd one from the 1st. Type of planet is a 4th row, the 4th tag, and I have to put it as a 4th one. And so now I'm actually going to add these rows, these headers, the other data later, and I'm just going to put the order and the name of the planet. So I'm going to do Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, and Pluto. So I'll do 2 Venus. As you can see, it's kind of repetitive, but hopefully these typing noises can give you some tingles. Venus, Earth, which is our home planet, Mars. It's also spelled the same way as the French word for the month of March, which is pretty cool. Jupiter. And then Saturn. And then Uranus. And then Neptune. And Pluto, the planets. So So, and the order should be 1, 2, 3 is Earth, Mars is 4th, 5th is Jupiter, 6th is Saturn, Uranus is 7th, and Neptune is 8th, and 9 is Pluto. And I'm going back to the table, and there it is. I misspelled Neptune, which is not good. There we go. And there you go. So the planets' name are here. So let's get this out of the way, and I'm going to insert all of these images. So I'm going to now insert images for each of the planets. So inside the TD tag, I'm going to put an image tag. So image source. So source is I have to put a file. I have to locate the file, so it's an image Mercury 1, because these are the images. I do have these images here. They're all in image folders, so I'm going to access that as a source in Mercury. So as you can see, it's over here, so there it is. It's not aligned to the center, but I could just do a problem or a text align or something. Maybe that will work. I'll have to see it later. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do the rest for Venus. Venus 1. Earth 1. Earth 1. There's Mars 1. And there you go. These are actual. I just made them using Paint software. And I'm going to do the rest for the other planets. So, image is Jupiter. Jupiter 1. And do the same thing for Saturn, because Saturn is pretty lovely. Also, Uranus is pretty cool. And there's Neptune. Neptune has a great dark spot. And Pluto. And as you can see, I've done the rest. I basically added Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So, yeah, I did that using images inside of the table data. So now I am now going to add the type of planet. So the first 4 planets are all rock planets, and these ones are Jupiter through Neptune are all gas giants. So I'm going to specify the type of planet. So that's the next TD here. So for Mercury, I'm going to put a table data, and it's going to be a rocky planet. So, and since the first 4 are all rocky, I could do a row span equals 4, and this attribute determines how many rows this TD cell will span. So Rocky So Rocky will span 4 rows because I put a row span of 4. So that means that this cell, it will cover Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. It will it has span 4 rows. And then, yeah. So that means I don't have to do a TD here for the next 3 rows. So up to Mars, I don't have to put an extra TD. So I used to be really confused with row span and col span because of the order it has to mess up. And now it doesn't align anymore. So now in Jupiter, I'm going to do another TD cell. And that'll be row span of 4. So this one here will add a TD cell, would add a cell. So Jupiter through Neptune will be gas giant, which is row span, spans 4 rows. And then I'll do Pluto, which is the last one. And it's only going to span 1 row, so I'm going to put a dwarf planet, because Pluto is a dwarf. To me, I want to put Pluto as a planet, so but Pluto is just a dwarf planet, but still a planet. So yeah. Okay, so I cut the video and I decided to look it up, look their diameters, because I can't remember exactly all of them, their exact diameters, so I put them all here. And that's their row, the next column, I mean. And what I've done is add TDs at the end of each table row. So I appended another TD tag. So this is Mercury, this is Venus, Earth, up to Neptune and Pluto. And I'm not going to use the alignment rule where the third tag or like the fifth tag would have to match the fifth one in terms of alignment, because some columns will span multiple rows, like this one. So the next tag is not the TD tags, the fifth or sixth is not always does have to be the fifth or the sixth tag. And yeah, so I can't use that rule. I have to append what I append to the row will kind of stack to the row. So every TD after I add, like I do another one here, one more tag, it's basically gonna stack to the row, or whatever you call it. Yeah, the row of the table. So that's a better way of thinking. Unlike if I would not use any cells that span multiple rows or columns, like row spans and col spans, I would follow the alignment rule, where the first data is always the first TD of every row. But with cells that have multiple rows or column spans, I'm just gonna think of the data type, the cell stacking to each row or column. So yeah, so the number of moons is what I'm gonna do next. That's the next column that'll do. So Mercury and Venus don't have any moons, so I'm gonna put 0 for Mercury. And actually, I'm gonna do a row span of 2, since both Mercury and Venus don't have any moons. And because of that, I'm not gonna add another TD tag for Venus. So I am now gonna do Earth. And Earth has 1 moon, Luna. Mars has 2 moons, I'll do that for Mars. Jupiter has, I think, 69 plus moons. Can't remember the exact number because new moons are being discovered in Jupiter and Saturn, and so Saturn has, I think, 79 moons or something. 79 plus. Uranus for sure has 27 moons. Yeah, 27 moons. Neptune has 14 moons, pretty sure. And Pluto has 5 moons, so Charon, Nix, Hydra, and 2 other moons. Okay, so Mercury and Venus have 0 moons, Earth has 1 moon, Mars has 2, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune all have a lot of moons, and Pluto, the dwarf planet, or planet for my case, has 5 moons. And now I'm going to do the final column. Has rings. So whether the planet have rings or not. So now I'm going to do another row. I am going to now do another row. So Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars don't have any rings. So, and that's what I'll do. Call span will be 4 because the first 4 planets don't have rings. So nope. No, row span. It should be row span because I want to span multiple rows. And from Jupiter, from Jupiter to Neptune, they do have rings. Even though Saturn, you could see rings, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune also have rings, though they're not as apparent. They're not as many rings, unlike Saturn. Okay, so as you can see, there we go. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, no rings. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune all have rings, especially Saturn. Okay, and for Pluto doesn't have any rings, so nope. Alright, so as you can see, this table is kind of done, but I forgot something. I forgot to put the asteroid belt, even though it's not even technically the planet. So I'm going to make an extra row between Mars and Jupiter. And I'm going to put a row between Mars and Jupiter. And I want a row to span all of the columns. So this table has 7 columns, and I'm going to do call span. No, table row and 1 data cell. That has 7 rows. And this will be the asteroid belt. Like that. And there you go. There is a row between Mars and Jupiter, and that's where the asteroid belt is. I could do another row. Wait, not that. Another table row that spans all the columns, and it's going to put Kuiper belt. Okay, that's also the Kuiper belt. It is also another belt of icy objects. So, and now before I finish it off, I'm going to style it a little bit more to give it a boost. So all of the text is to the left. So I'm going to do text align is middle, is center. And yeah, the text is more in the center. And I'm going to do a caption here that is above the table. I think it's a caption. Yeah, the table has a caption. This is the solar system. Yeah, the solar system. Please like if you got tingles. So there it is. Well, it's not as big, but I'll style it anyway. So table caption. And color green. So there it is. So this is a table of the solar system and its planets I made with HTML and a little bit of CSS. I hope you have gotten your tingles, even though you may or may not understand all of this content. If you did get your tingles, please drop a like. It will be greatly appreciated. I am Kyle, and I make ASMR content, ASMR-fied content, such as coding videos and some other sort. Stay tuned for the next ASMR video.